Welcome to Area DMG.
Welcome back to Area DMG. I'm your host, Phil Bussey, the Mile High Mouth, and today we're going to go ahead and unbox what you saw in the thumbnail, which is Toonami Tom. Now, Toonami, for those from the 90s and early 2000s, is a thing they had on Cartoon Network, which was pretty much just anime. They had some shows on there that were just like, okay, they had Dragon Ball, they had Sailor Moon, and then they had a really censored version of Tenchi Muyo, and then they got Tenchi Universe and Tenchi in Tokyo. And Tenchi Muyo was kind of like an anime that like kind of showed me that, hey, anime can be pretty cool. It can be something different from Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. And then they also had the extremely butchered and censored Outlaw Star. Adult Swim got Cowboy Bebop, essentially. But another big one they had out there was Big O. A lot of people my age grew up with Toonami and are just like, yeah. And now I never really gave up on that because like a lot of the anime that they introduced us to was good. Like, legit good. Gundam Wing. Gundam Wing was amazing at the time. Giant robots and stuff, and we're just like, what? And it was great because Toonami introduced a lot of people who are now introducing people to anime. It used to be the only way to really get to see it, and it was all censored. I mean, there was in Outlaw Star, semi-spoiler alert, an item that they need near the end of the series, they get in an episode which involves a hot springs planet. So, they didn't show that episode on Toonami, so people were like, where did that come from? Big O was also horribly censored. It's like, cast in the name of good, ye not guilty. It's actually cast in the name of God, and they'd censor blood and other stuff. Tenchi Muyo, they painted on swimsuits because this is actually chock full of nudity. And that is just something they had. They digitally censored. The censorship from Toonami back in the day was kind of amazing. The cool thing though about this with Toonami is that the character this character here, Toonami Tom, was essentially your VJ. He was on this little ship and he'd be like, what are we watching? Blah, 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 blah. But he's voiced by Steve Bloom, who, if you know Steve Bloom, it's like, oh, Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star, Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, Roger Smith from The Big O, all sorts of stuff. He's got that great voice that just kind of works. And you're just like, he's a negotiator. And you're just like, it's just great stuff. But Toonami introduced us, people my age, to a lot of stuff. And Toonami Tom was essentially our... We knew Tom. We're like, hey, we're going to watch some cool stuff. And they did keep it up. I mean, I remember watching, they had the first 2 episodes of Neon Genesis Evangelion, and they didn't chop the first episode up too much. Second episode was another story. But yeah, there was a bunch of stuff where I kind of feel like the anime industry wouldn't be where it is today without censorship and without Toonami Tom. There are certain people, and Toonami is essentially where a lot of Full Metal Alchemist came from. Full Metal Alchemist single-handedly saved Funimation. Funimation would have been bankrupt years ago without that. But yeah, Stephen Bloom, the voice of Toonami Tom, this was iconic. You got home from school, and it's like 3:30, it's about 4, that's when it shows up, and you're like, yeah, we're going to see some anime. Or anime, or whatever, and read some manga, or whatever, because back then we didn't know how to pronounce anything. We call it Studio Ghibli. I remember, like, Princess Mononoke from Studio Ghibli. And then people started pronouncing it differently and all that stuff. That kind of happened. It's like Ghibli, GIF, Osama, Bin Laden, that type of stuff. But yeah, Toonami was kind of a big thing. And this is a Funko Club exclusive. I think Best Buy had these. There's the side of the box, the back of the box. Kids love it! Back of the box, bottom of the box. And the top of the box. And let's open it up, because Toonami Tom has got to sit up there on one of my shelves next to all the great anime that he introduced me to. I know you're like, you could leave it in the box and go get it signed by Steve Bloom. Nah, I throw away these boxes because I'm terrible. Yay! There's no thing here. Let's see if he stands up on his own. Here's the front. Yeah, he does that. He moves a little bit. He's like, raw. Kind of a weird pose. It's kind of like, come with me if you want to live. Because anime is life at that time. Remember when they get to Namek and then the show starts over? Oh man, kids these days, they don't know. They're like, they're gonna play the Dead Zone or the Tree of Might, and it might be not as censored. It's horribly censored. Oh my gosh. Remember the Home for Infinite Losers? Yeah, from Dragon Ball Z being censored all the heck for the sake of Toonami. Oh, good times, good times. Anyways, this is front of Tom, side of Tom, the back of Tom, the other side of Tom, the top of Tom, and the bottom of Tom with like the writing on his feet. His head moves, he can be like, yes, come with me. Just like, that's compelling right there, right? I trust this robot. This robot is going to show me cool stuff. And he did. Thank you for all those little introductions. But essentially, he's like a VJ, a virtual VJ, kind of like MTV used to have between their videos to introduce a video. They'd be like, here's the newest thing from Fastball, or the newest thing from No Doubt. Ooh. And you'd have somebody in there, just kind of some annoying VJ like Jesse or Adam Curry, who, by the way, you should look him up. He's got a podcast now. I fully recommend it. Anywho, yeah, Toonami Tom, you are awesome, and you're the one that introduced me to so much anime, so much beautiful, gorgeous animation. Showed me that stuff like Gundam Wing was pretty cool. Even when they did like MSO8 Gundam, Gundam War in Pocket, the original Gundam, all the new ones, like I think, was it Gundam G or something? G Gundam, you know, Shining Finger, that type of stuff. I have so much memory locked up in this particular character. And like, when they started bringing out more stuff, like the second season of Big O, or things like Samurai Champloo, it was just great stuff. Bandai at the time and Pioneer were just unstoppable. I used to pay $30 plus for a DVD with 3 episodes on it, and nowadays kids are like, oh, that's $30 for the whole series of 26 episodes? I don't know if I can afford that. Quit whining. Toonami Tom says quit whining. You got your anime. It's uncensored. You can get your Crunchyroll. You can get your, like, I guess Funimation has an app. You can go to Hulu, Netflix. Heck, everyone except for Disney Plus pretty much has anime. And it's awesome. But yeah, this is Toonami Tom. And he's awesome. He's going to go and stand somewhere on my DVDs and Blu-rays and just remind me of how awesome the late 90s were. The 90s. When we thought we were safe in schools. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think of Toonami Tom. Did you watch Toonami growing up? Was that your jam? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up, the share button, the subscribe button. Ring that little bell so you're notified whenever we have a brand new video here on Area DMG. And until the next video comes out, you are now caught up.
Morning, Maya.